Right. Welcome.
Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Cause and Defect.
Cause and Defect.
We're going to entitle this episode, No Copyright Infringement Intended, Attack of the Klones.
Attack with 2 C's.
Once again, this is the show for serious conversations with not so serious people. This is our first actual conversation that's not about ourselves.
On a real topic.
We are going to be talking about cloning today.
Yes. If you stuck through the first episode, I realized it was tough.
It was tough. I know.
And we don't like talking about ourselves. So
this
will be much better to actually discuss the topic that we both have actually, as far as I know, we've never really discussed before.
No, I don't think so. Not extensively, at least.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to get into. I'm sure will be maybe some interesting points along the way. First, instead of diving deep into a real serious topic, we're going to start with some Q&A.
Some Q&A.
Some serious questions, some funny questions.
Yeah, one after the other. We like to keep it serious and funny in here, so just some things to help you get to learn us a little bit better.
If we can be funny.
Sometimes.
It doesn't matter. Because I'm going to make myself laugh.
All right. So you go first.
Just full on dum-dum over it. All right.
Go first.
So first
Stop talking shit.
I'm going to start off with a serious questions, and they're going to get increasingly more serious as we go along. First, Chester, if you could reinvent any product or service ever made in time, what would it be?
Reinvent any product?
Yeah, so basically it would now be your product. So you can take something that was made and you can redo it to where it was originally your idea.
Wait, so am I changing the product itself, or am I taking credit for something?
You're just taking credit.
The printing press. No question about it. Johannes Gutenberg
was so fast.
I would take that. I would take that invention any day. Yeah, that's right. Should I reverse the question on you? What's your answer?
I didn't really think it through, but
you don't have to.
My first instinct would be like something along Microsoft or having some way of creating the internet, having the first stakes in that.
Very good.
That's basically like a new age printing press.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, or just computer software or hardware.
Yeah.
Because that shit I know nothing about, but it is very important. Think about if like half the scientists died or something, or not scientists, but people that made computers basically. If not all of them, like what the hell would we do? How long would it take us to redo that shit?
That's true. Well, I mean,
the books are out there, but
yeah. And it would happen again. I mean, we got some smart cookies.
Yeah, it would just take a few years for sure to get back. All right, hit me with it.
All right,
Choib.
My first question that I wrote down, I did this like a week and a half ago or so. Anyways, if you could ask Albert Einstein one question, what would you ask him? Don't say you would ask him about his hairdo.
No. It would be a serious question. My first question, I think, would be surprising. I think I would first ask him about how we could best fix climate change.
Oh.
Maybe due to some renewable energy of some sort.
Wow.
I think he would have a great answer for that.
Okay.
And if not, I think he'd be diligent enough to come up with something.
Yeah.
That would be useful.
Okay. Good answer. I do like it.
What about yourself?
What would I ask Einstein?
It's like Santa.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, yeah, he kind of looks like him too, doesn't he? Or did. I guess it would be something along the lines of what made you, I was going to say what made you take atomic theory to such a high level instead of trying to explore other alternative theories of the time.
Yeah. He kind of just took gravity and went his whole other way with it.
He did. And I don't know, I'm not saying he was wrong. Theory of relativity is obviously useful. But there are things that it doesn't fully capture, that other things may have fully captured. For example, they've disproven the theory of the ether, blah, blah, blah. But my main thing is that a lot of the main scientists and electrical experimenters of the time did not believe in the atom as we've been taught it. So that'll be another time. I'm not going to, I could delve way into that, but let's not. All right. So
but that's a good question.
Ask me a not serious question.
A not serious question. Here you go. Would you rather only drink soda for the rest of your life or smoke 10 cigarettes a day forever?
Soda.
Yeah, forever. That's
Soda.
the only drink you can drink.
Soda.
Imagine getting
But-
off a long run and you got to chug a fucking soda.
Wait. What about... No, so it has to be sugary soda.
Oh,
I
yeah,
can't
we're
drink
talking
carbonated
Coca-Cola.
water.
No. This is Coca-Cola.
Oh, I don't know, though. That is so tough.
That is a tough one.
Because either you would die of renal failure or lung failure. It's
One way you're going
one
down.
of the two. I mean, we're going down
But
anyways.
you could be completely healthy outside of the cigarettes and run all the time.
Yeah.
You know, if you're just drinking soda,
But
that's
still, jeez.
yeah, just the
COPD.
the act of fucking just cheaping that down every day.
I don't know about that.
You know, you'd get to like your 9th one of the day and be like, God
Uh,
damn it, fuck.
Oh, yeah. You'd sound like this by that time. Helga, get me a pack of Cokes.
Yeah, jeez.
All right,
I think
next.
eventually you would just like it. Did you answer?
Yeah,
You said cigs?
yeah,
Okay.
I think.
I'm
Did
going
I?
to go with cig. You didn't actually say it.
I said soda at first.
Okay.
That's a good question. That was a good one. I'm going to go with soda just to be different from
Okay,
you.
cool. I'll take cigs.
All right.
Ugh,
So, I've got
Jesus.
a not so
CBD
serious
cigs, I
question
can
for you.
fucking-
When you poop, what's your favorite color hue?
Ooh, I like a soft brown.
Oh, healthy.
Yeah, of course. I don't know. I think somewhat pluff and dense is okay. I think those are two opposite
Pluff.
words.
I think they are.
I don't even think pluff's the real word.
When
But
you
you
say
get what I
dense,
mean.
when you say pluff and dense, I'm imagining like a memory foam pillow.
Yeah, but in kind of more looks like a Lincoln log.
Well, of course, it's a turd. What do you mean? Not shitting out pillows over here.
That would be cool though.
All
They
right.
just like float down like a piece of paper to the joint.
All right. My favorite color hue, I've got to say, is green.
Bright green.
Oh, no, that's too much. That's like
Okay.
I'm shitting out
What
toxic
is the
sludge.
benefit of green?
There's no benefit. I just
Did
think
you eat
it's
more
interesting when
vegetables?
I look at it, and I'm like, whoa, I pooped green.
Yeah.
I just like green. Green's
That
my
gave-
favorite color.
That gave me something to talk about today. My
Yeah.
green shit.
Hey guys, guess what? All right, your turn.
Okay.
Ask me a serious question.
So we're going a little bit more serious this time.
Okay.
What person, any person in history, do you think this is getting to our topic today? Which I don't even know if we talked about yet.
Wonderful. We did.
Okay, cool.
Well, we said what we were doing.
Gotcha. What person in history do you think would be the most beneficial to clone?
I would say Jesus, because then we would have proof that he actually existed.
Okay,
Bam!
that was a good one.
Yeah.
I would have to say, kind of piggybacking off that a little bit, but I would go with Isaac Newton. First of all, because he was just a flat out genius. And second of all, which I don't think a lot of people know, is the majority of his time he actually spent writing like biblical writings. Like he just thought of calculus on a whim and
Yeah.
was just like, yeah, this is good for this. And you know, came up with gravity just kind of hanging out, or his laws of gravity.
Yeah, an
anyways.
apple hit him on the head
And
or
Newton-
something.
No,
stupid.
yeah, apparently he was just like out in the orchard field, and you know, of course, apples fall, but he didn't get hit in the head. I think that's a fable, but
Yeah, I'm
it's
sure it
just
is.
more of an entertaining story. But so I would say that, and we'd just be like, hey, don't focus on the dumb shit. Let's get down to the real
The
stuff.
dumb
here.
shit. Gravity's dumb shit.
No, I was
Okay.
talking about the religion part.
Oh, right. Okay.
Sorry. Quit wasting
So
your
now
time
you know
on
how
that.
we stand on this?
Yeah.
All right.
Quit wasting your time. On
My
that.
turn.
Hit me. This is gonna be funny, yeah? Or is it no?
No, this is serious for
Okay,
me.
All right.
If you had to pick one, are you more interested in economics or ecology?
I don't think there would be an economics without ecology, so I'd have to go with that one.
Fair.
Yeah, because if we don't take care of our like ecosystem and you know don't study it to see what's right and wrong or beneficial or harmful, then we won't live anyways to have economics. So, and I think you would have the exact same answer.
Oh
pretty
yeah,
much.
of course. I was a bio major. If y'all didn't watch the first episode, I was a bio major, very interested in ecology, and I had an emphasis in conservation biology or
Yeah.
environmentalism. So
Yeah, so, and I'm
You
pretty
know where I
sure,
stand.
yeah, my answer probably was thought of that off of you anyways, because I'm more of a
I say that kind of crap all the
business,
time.
yeah,
so.
I'm more of a business major, so I think my first instinct would be like, of course, I want to be wealthy, but, or, I mean, economics doesn't necessarily make you wealthy, but anyhow, so, my next funny question, have you ever flatuated on an old person?
Oh, all the time. crop dusting is a common occurrence.
Yeah, you work in a lot of stores too.
Oh yeah, I do. And old guys walk past me all the time. I go into hardware stores constantly. There are lots of old people around. And if an old person crossed my path when I just so happened to have some sort of gaseous lunch,
yes, whether
they're doomed,
the front or back.
Yeah, either way.
Wow.
I think both count as crop dusting.
Yeah, I'm sure.
In a way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. What about you?
I'm sure I've had.
Yeah.
I don't seek it out. I don't
me
live
neither.
for it.
I'm not
Well,
cruel
you
like
should.
I am.
I just don't see people on my day-to-day basis like that. But oh, beer. Sorry.
Beer's delicious.
But I'm sure it's happened before plenty of times. I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there you go. There's a dumb question for you.
Amazing. Is it? Yeah, it's my turn.
Yep. You asked me how funny.
All right. If you were a porn star, what would your name be?
Ooh, Ricky Hardcock.
Straight to the point.
I want there to be no guessing.
Oh my god.
I'm just because my persona is gonna be that no matter if people see me on set or off set, I'm always gonna be just rock hard. I want that to be known. And I think at some point I'll probably just have to put something in my pants to make it look like it. But you can't be called Ricky Hardcock and walk around flaccid.
That's true.
It's not okay. How about yourself?
Huh.
And I thought of that in 0.2 seconds.
Yeah, you did. I was trying to think of a clever one for just a second, but let me
Sledgehammer. I like the doubles.
It would be Jim Slobknocker.
Ooh, it sounds like you're doing the slob knocking.
Oh, both. If you're a male porn star, you got to go through the gauntlet first.
Oh, do you? I
think so.
Be introduced through gay porn.
I think that's the thing. I've heard that, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I have heard this.
I don't think I'll ever have the desire for that. But
that's probably not even the one I would actually choose. But it sounded funny, so that dictates a lot of what I say. If it sounds funny or if not.
If it flows together, it just feels good, and we're gonna go with it.
Okay.
All right. What is next? So this is
serious question.
Serious
Number
question.
3.
Number 3.
See what you got.
This is gonna get to it. It's a 2-parter.
Oh.
So bear with me.
You're cheating the rules.
It'll be all right.
All right.
So, do you find it morally acceptable to clone humans? And if so, how would we come together as a society to decide who would get cloned?
So you have 2 questions that are alluding.
Yeah, this stuff.
Did you write this like a long time ago, or did you come up with these recently?
I came up with these about 30 minutes ago.
Oh.
Yes.
No freaking wonder. All right. Do I find it morally acceptable to clone humans?
Yeah, I figured we were going to talk about this, so...
We are.
You can hit me with like a yay or nay. You don't have to...
I guess I have to say yes, because it's going to happen, whether I find it morally acceptable or not.
Mm-hmm.
So... What I don't know. I just feel like it's almost a waste of time to like put myself in that position.
So how would we decide who would get cloned and who wouldn't?
Money. Honestly, that's how it's gonna happen. Research purposes in general.
Some democratic. Process.
Somebody maybe volunteers. But
I don't. Some people we just probably don't need to clone.
Well, that's true. But there would be an extensive vetting process at least at first.
Even worse than like getting into the country.
Yeah. Oh, of course. God, you don't just clone people from Lugoff. I mean, they've.
Yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't clone me.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. My roots go too deep. Right?
That sounded like a deep innuendo, and let's just.
Oh no.
Let's avoid
Not that route.
Let's avoid that.
All right.
What about you? You didn't answer.
I don't think about morals a lot.
I can tell
because but I think it's gonna happen, and if so, it has to be off some vote-based system where we have like some fucking Hunger Games type. Are you okay?
I was looking for the ball.
Oh, okay.
Of this. Okay, sorry.
It's all right. There's like a cat.
Squirrel.
But we'd have to do some like Hunger Games type thing. Get a couple of candidates together, let them fight it out, and then those would be the people we clone.
Okay.
Fight so we have like a warrior, we have like an intellect, and maybe it's like I don't know, some worker.
But you're gonna make an intellectual fight to the death?
No. Sorry, I mean these are subcategories of people we should.
Okay. So what are they gonna play, chess or something?
I'm sure there's ways to see who's at like Jeopardy or some shit.
Ken Jennings.
Yeah.
Number 1 cloning prospect.
I think computers will help us way further than cloning will.
Okay.
But anyways,
Who knows, man?
who knows? We'll get into some of that too.
We will. So all the time in the world.
So hit me with your last serious.
My final serious question is: if you could go back in time and assassinate one person,
wow,
who would you assassinate?
Ooh, man, that's a tough one. I feel like the most obvious answer would be Hitler, but I don't want to say that.
Don't. Hitler's the most blown up one. He's not necessarily the worst one.
The worst one, right? Man, that's a toughie. I would say whichever Alexander the Great or the King Henry VIII that cut off all his wives' heads.
Okay.
Because they couldn't have.
He also changed the Bible extensively.
Yeah. Well, so a lot of people.
Which
did.
leads me to my answer. I would execute the Prophet Muhammad. Just kidding. I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that.
You just ruin like billions of people.
That's a joke. I correct myself immediately afterwards. Because most of the world, even some of our listeners, may end up being Muslim. So
yeah,
I'm gonna Muslim.
I don't know.
Okay, whatever. My actual answer though would be Pol Pot.
Who is that?
He
is that Pepper Potts' brother? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. I think he was Cambodian. I think. Anyways, he executed or killed I think about a quarter of his population. And he was notorious for killing people that he thought were smart. So anybody that wore glasses,
oh wow,
they were dead.
I've heard of
if
that
he thought
like,
they read a book.
Yeah, I've heard of that in like, was it African cultures way back when? Like, if
King Leopold.
Yeah, if they didn't want that sort of information to spread, they'd go around killing the intellectuals of the town and stuff like that. Like, that is brutal, man. How in the world is that gonna bring you any sort of progress or benefits in the future?
Man, I feel like this thing keeps dropping. All right. I'm a tall guy.
Yeah. That's going to be loud. All right. So my last funny question.
There we go. That's better.
And then we'll get on to our real topic here.
All right.
Would you push your mom down a grassy hill with occasional rocky patches for $1 million? All she has to do is...
How long is this hill?
She's going to roll for at least 30 to 45 seconds.
Oh.
A pretty dense roll. She's going to have some scrapes.
What is the likelihood that she dies?
No, I don't think she would
I would
die.
do it.
Okay.
I would do it, absolutely. And I would give her some of the payment, just like some hush money.
Yeah,
you know?
You'll probably spend all that money on doctor bills or some shit. You know?
I hope not.
No.
As long as she doesn't break a hip or something old ladies do.
That's true. Because this could put her out.
Yeah.
It could put her out for a while.
Yeah. My turn.
Okay.
If you could cause a stampede of a single animal, what would that animal be?
Oh, that's an easy one. I would say... we're baby basset hounds.
Oh, wow. Baby basset hounds.
Yeah.
That would be a lot of
little puppy basset hounds.
A lot of tripping over ears.
Yeah, it would be the sweetest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, my God.
How about you?
That would be cute. I was going to say lemurs.
Lemurs? That would be kind of
stampede
terrifying.
of lemurs.
What about sloths?
That would be...
They wouldn't do anything.
That would be like a slow walking protest.
Yeah, they would just be upset that they had to walk.
Yeah, I don't want to do this today. Oh man, good one. That was a good first segment of Q&A.
Why'd you pick lemurs?
I don't know. I just think they're cute. King Julian is hilarious, and they would hop. It would be interesting to just see a stampede of lemurs. You don't really think of them running together in packs. You think of them sitting in trees and making fun of each other.
I feel like any toward a monkey running towards me or ape or whatever it is would freak me out.
Maybe.
Like those ones in cities that like steal
it's not
food
necessarily
from
running towards you. You're just making a stampede of it.
Oh, so I can just sit
regardless.
back and watch it. Oh, well, I want the basset hounds to be coming towards me.
Oh, okay.
That would be great. They just run all over me.
That's what made your answer. Well, all right. So if you could change your answer to now that you know you don't have to be a part of the stampede,
just watch them.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I would. I think penguins would be really hilarious to watch.
Yeah, that would be amazing. And at random times, they would probably slide on their bellies a little bit
and trip over each other and just roll.
Oh,
that would be a good one.
That would be good. You know, I want to say this. I saw. I was watching River Monsters earlier, and there was a fun fact on there. If you had to take a guess, what creature do you think on the planet has the strongest bite force per pound? Pound for pound, the strongest bite force.
I want to say shark, but I think it would be some sort of mammal. But I don't know. Shark or like some sort of tiger, lion. I don't know. That'd be what I'd go with.
So it's actually a black piranha.
Oh my god.
The one I sent you a picture of that old Jeremy Wade caught a 6-pounder. They have the strongest bite force per pound, even stronger than what the T-Rex was.
Oh my god.
Isn't that insane? I just wanted to throw that out there. We were on the subject of animals, and it was just in my mind.
I got a great transition for you here.
Okay.
Apparently, the movie Jurassic Park, the first one, was like the first idea, or like the first movie that came out with the idea of cloning.
Really?
Yeah, because they were cloning dinosaurs. They were, and interesting fact, I saw something, and I don't know if this is real. I actually wrote down the website for it because it's itmunch.com. So who knows how real that is, but I heard that scientists at Harvard are actually working on cloning a woolly mammoth.
Yeah, it's true.
And they're pretty good.
That's going to be one of the first things I jump on with cloning, sort of, in a way. So since that's a great segue.
Yeah.
So we were the first note I wrote down about cloning, in fact, since we're getting into our main subject of the podcast, was something that scientists are choosing to call the Pleistocene Park.
Come again?
Pleistocene. So that's so it's something I heard about in college, and it's slowly becoming true. They're making what's called a Pleistocene era, is something in the era of the Ice Age. So like when saber-toothed tigers existed, woolly mammoths, all that kind of stuff. They have enough DNA that's not degraded to make a park in Russia, which Siberia is like the only place that would really be feasible, maybe in the middle of Canada somewhere, that would be able to replicate their habitat so well. So they're starting to get together clones of a bunch of mammals of that age, or animals in general of that age. And they're going to make a wildlife park out of it if it's possible. They're working on it. I think it's by like 2050 they're going to have something. Yeah, pretty interesting. And why? My next question is, why do you think? I know why, but why do you think that they wouldn't be able to do that with dinosaurs?
I don't know if we have the cells of dinosaurs and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so we do have something we could inject into another embryo to create a dinosaur.
Sort of. Well,
because we have to have some of their cells to replicate, right?
We do, but I'm not a super expert on the subject, so I'm just going to give you the answer now. It's because the DNA is too degraded. It's too old. Yeah. No matter what it's stored in, the DNA is degraded too long. It's been millions and millions of years, whereas with Pleistocene mammals, at most, it's been like a couple 100,000 years. So
it still seems like a crazy long time.
It
is.
I
guess cells in general just have a decay rate.
Yep. Everything does.
Well, yeah. It would seem like you could freeze it, but I guess when, nobody was taking dinosaur cells and freezing them back then. So
yeah, they weren't, prepared. The cavemen, or there were no cavemen.
They weren't thinking about that.
Right. Yeah. I guess the people that believe that the Earth was created 6,000 years ago might believe that intelligent humans were around at the time of the dinosaurs. So if that were the case, maybe
they were on the ark. I heard.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
They had to have been.
I mean, I guess you're right.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, if they lived at the same time, All right, we're getting too off subject here.
So, but here would be the crazy thing about that theme park is that, generally with cloning, they last, the animal or whatever it is, if it's successful, usually lives at about half the time of like the actual animal itself, because the part of their DNA that kind of, I can't remember exactly what it is, but that controls like the aging it tends to be a lot shorter and ends up going, so they die out fast, like the dolly, the sheep. I know we're probably good.
I feel like that's something that at least for current animals, they'll be able to get around. Maybe not with older animals that there's not necessarily another individual like it around.
Right. If we can get some gene manipulation, which I know that they're working on, and if they can take that part of the aging part of the cell and reconstruct it to be better, but still be the same thing, I guess, not change the whole DNA, then it's potentially that they would live just as long as the previous form of themselves.
It would be really cool even just to see them, really.
Well, a funny thing I saw is that they don't always look the same.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're combined with other animals.
Yeah, but even that, like, even if they're kind of identical of where they came from, the environment has a lot to do with how your looks.
So maybe the woolly mammoth wouldn't be quite as woolly.
It may not be the same. I mean, it could be even pretty much identical DNA, and it still may look a little different.
Yeah.
So
that says a lot about the way people grow up and what forms into the things that we know and love today. Is that the environment in which they're established has a huge amount to do with what they are and what they look like, what they do.
Yeah, just the whole construction of the human anatomy is all based off of our environment.
Yep.
And what seems to have been most successful through time.
Yeah.
And that's how we are as we
Interesting.
are, which is, I feel like if you extrapolate that out, eventually we're just going to be basically heads.
Well, I mean, we
become
still
smart enough to
need
not really-
hands.
right,
and,
but if we become smart enough to not have to use our bodies for a lot of physical things, then we'll pretty much, just kind of be hands and
this is where
basically
watching
bionic.
WALL-E comes in.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
I mean, because really everything about your body is pretty much just made to protect your brain and get your brain around and input information.
But what about the sexual attraction side of things? See, like if
That's not necessary.
is it not?
I
People
mean,
are gonna want to fuck for a long time.
Yeah, but just because they want to fuck doesn't mean that it's a I mean, we don't need it. I mean, we can still procreate.
Well, yeah, I know.
But we don't have to have that sort of like primate desire to have sex.
But
and
we
be
will
any
for
different.
a very, very long time.
For sure.
And that's, I mean, I honestly think that that's a lot of the reason why muscular definition is changing and like people are getting taller. Maybe that has to do with the amount of nutrients that they're coming into, but
it's artificial selection.
Yeah, sort of.
Right.
I guess it's natural.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We call things artificial selection when they're centered around humans. So in that way, sure, it's
Yeah,
artificial selection.
Right.
But interesting thing to think about. Interesting things to think about.
Yeah.
I cannot talk. All right. So my next little bullet point on here is did you know that monkeys have been cloned in China?
Monkeys. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a list here. This is crazy. I didn't know this amount of things were actually being replicated. But first we started with mice in like the 70s, late 70s. And then within like 2 years, it of course went off. But by now, like we've done cows, sheep, chickens, cat, deer. This is going to go my next point. Dogs, horses, mules, ox, rabbits, and rhesus monkeys.
Gray wolves as well.
Wow, nice. And it's funny that there's actual companies out. I think there's one in Texas that will like clone your cat or dog for like 25 or 50 grand.
Oh yeah, that's if you've
That's
ever
bizarre to me.
if any of our audience has ever seen the movie the Sixth Day. Yeah, The Sixth Day. It's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. It's about cloning, and he gets cloned by accident or whatever and doesn't really realize that he's a clone. Sorry if I ruined the movie for you, but there's
since
a
the
long
90s?
time. It's actually I actually enjoyed the movie. It wasn't bad. It's cheesy, but not bad. And the reason I brought this up is because there's a company in there. Like the movie basically starts out with their dog dying, and then they go to it's based way in the future, and they have jet cars and like all this kind of
Pet
stuff.
Cemetery ass shit.
No, it's
Okay.
it's not about the pet, but the way it starts out surrounding the cloning bit is their dog dies, and they go to this store called Repet, and he's debating on whether or not to clone the dog.
What would be in this sort of made up scenario? What would be the downfalls of it?
It just seems unnatural. Number one,
If there's a store up the street that's just called Repet,
well,
it's made
it
pretty
still
natural at this
seems
point.
unnatural. At least looking from the past into the technical
right, it seems
future.
unnatural to us, but I'm saying at that time, I don't think it would seem that unnatural.
Well, maybe not.
You know
I
what
mean, it
If
depends
there's
on the
a
person.
Store up the street,
Depends
like
on
a
the person.
7-Eleven where
'Cause
you can go get your cat
But it was like
back.
a new commercialized thing. It was like it was showing the commercials on the TV.
So
Repet.
yeah, this
Never lose the pet that you loved when you were a
sounds
child.
like some Total Recall shit, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's
Or
weird.
close. Yeah. I thought that was interesting that you brought that up, because that is a real movie and it's becoming a real thing, and it's funny to see how lots of science fiction topics or things that were science fiction of the past are becoming science nonfiction of the present.
Yeah, but what? But what's funny is that, like I said, that animal can come back and look completely different.
Mhm.
It can have the same. I guess it could have the same identity, or I wouldn't say identity, but it would have the same genetic makeup.
Do you mean for I've probably already covered this, but do you mean for animals that are already established in the natural world today, if they were cloned, would they come back looking different, or do you mean strictly for things from the past?
No, things today.
Okay.
Yeah, so they took like a calico cat and cloned it, and it came out looking like completely different than its mother. And I mean, I know it comes from basically like a father's skin cells, but it looked different than both of its parents because.
Did it look the same as its old self? When you say both of its parents.
Sorry, when I say both of its parents, I take the father as that's the cells. Like,
okay.
You know what I mean?
All
so
right.
that is its former self,
Okay.
I guess. Yeah, but as far as I know, like it came out looking different than both of them.
Wow.
So it's just there's some random things about, I guess, the way your cells kind of formulate back together that can create sort of a different image for you. I'm not an expert on that, but
wow.
So that would kind of just make that whole argument void of like you're not getting the same pet back.
Yeah.
Like, what would be the point?
I don't know. The thing I find myself wanting to bring up with what you just said is I maybe I'm stupid, but I thought clones were just based from one animal, not two.
Well, you have to take like there's like three major different ways of cloning things.
Okay.
So you take like the somatic cells, or take your skin cells, and then get like a woman's embryo or whatever, take out its nucleus and put yours in it, and then what's grown of that is a clone of you.
Oh, okay. So of course it would look different then.
Right.
It's
that's
not
what
gonna,
I mean. Yeah.
It's not going to look exactly the same.
Yeah.
I'm curious though if they'll ever be able to just like they can take skin cells and just grow new organs and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they do that for like burn victims.
Yeah,
and stuff,
which is a new kind of phenomenon as well, which is very interesting for the whole organ donation process. I wonder how long it's going to be necessary to become an organ donor on your driver's license.
I guarantee you they're going to 3D print them before.
Yeah, you think?
I think so, man.
We'll
They
see.
can do
3D
anything.
printing is going to be a thing of the future. That's another interesting topic
That
we'll
is
cover at some
another
point.
Interesting one, because they, like, even in space, they're just like, oh, need a new tool on the space station? Just go in that room and 3D print it for yourself, and then get back at it.
That's right.
It's fucking insane.
That's cool. So my next question that I have written on my piece of paper here is: do you think that they have cloned humans already?
No, I don't think so. And I tell you why I say that. So I looked up like the National Human Genome Research Institute, and they said, there's basically been claims that people said they have done it, but when they go to like verify it via like let's put it out in the media or let's see the research, apparently no one comes up with anything like actual viable.
So my follow-up question would be, if they had cloned humans, would they deem it responsible to tell the public? Would it behoove them to keep it from the public?
I think at first, until they can do more research, because like I was saying, even when they made Dolly the sheep, I think most people know about Dolly the sheep. It was like the biggest thing when
I was in like elementary school,
it took
I think.
over 260 something tries for them to actually be successful. So you have to imagine like half of these humans coming out, or way more than half of them, are like fucked up.
You put a bullet in their head immediately.
Yeah, and I'm sure most of them die within a few minutes, and if that they even if they did live to maybe 10 years old, they're probably just gonna be fucked up mentally. Like, I don't know. I don't think they've gotten to a point where it's safe enough and I guess a good enough process to make a human out of it.
Right, but that's not my question. My question is, if they had already done it, would they tell the public?
I don't see the need to.
Right, that's like my point is like I feel that religious sects and that sort of stuff would be up in arms and all this kind of stuff if they had found out we had successfully cloned humans. And if we had successfully cloned humans, then wouldn't they blend in so well that nobody would even notice?
Some of them maybe.
Maybe they're
if
some
that.
sort of agents.
I would imagine it would be incredibly expensive, incredibly hard. And
Since when has expensive stopped us?
Because
we can just make money now.
Well, what's the purpose of it, though? Why wouldn't you just have a kid?
I don't know. If you can clone them, if you have the technology to clone them and you have full sort of genomic control, couldn't you make some sort of quote-unquote perfect human?
I mean, we already do a lot of sort of control. What do they call those?
GMOs?
No, I mean that's essentially
that's what
cloning is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but But no, they're called something babies. I can't remember, but they basically manipulate their genome to make sure they don't have like disadvantages when they're born and stuff like that. I don't know a lot about it, but
wow.
But actually, something funny you said about a religious group. I read something where a religious group, like some sort of group that thinks that we came from extraterrestrials, thinks that we were basically put here because of that. They were actually one of the first people to claim that they've cloned a human and stuff like that, and and that was their way of basically proving that we were just cloned and put here.
Wow.
So but funny enough, no evidence showed up.
I was gonna say that sounds like a bunch of baloney.
I wonder how,
because I honestly don't think they would tell the public if they did clone humans. I really don't.
But I can absolutely see some cult leader bullshit, making that up just to be like, yeah, we can clone them now, everyone, let's drink cyanide together and kill ourselves.
Absolutely. That's right. Jim Jones all over again.
What the fuck, man.
Awful. Let me see. I've got a couple of more.
But just back. Sorry, I want to
go
just go real quick. But I know you already agree with me. But like another way of saying like they won't look the same exactly. Like look at identical twins. They have nearly identical DNA and they look close, but you can tell there's obvious differences slightly based on their environment.
Yeah, I guess.
I
don't know. I've seen some identical twins that were.
They're very hard
Fred
to
and
tell
George
apart.
from Harry Potter. Case in point, number one. They are damn close.
Yeah, they are damn close. Yeah, which is so insane. And there's so many not experiments, but like when you separate twins at birth, and then they end up like growing in completely different environments, but when they bring them back together, they're very similar and stuff like that. That I think that's just so crazy that it doesn't change
lots
that
of stuff
much.
we can't explain.
Yeah, but it just says a lot based on kind of our DNA and what we come from. So people that get down on themselves, it's not always your fault. Sometimes you just got bad genes. And, do us a favor and don't procreate and keep it in the gene pool. If we could get rid of that, that would be fantastic.
So do you think cloning is, in a way, playing God? And
That's
would
a
you
weird
call
question
it
to ask
a
me.
full-fledged human? I guess it's a two-part question.
Would I call it playing God? No, because I don't think God made humans.
Okay.
So just being the controllers of our existence, well, we already do that on a daily basis.
Okay.
So I don't care about it in the way you propose the question, but what was the second part? Sorry.
The second part of the question was, is it an actual full-fledged human?
Yeah, genetically, yeah. I mean, it would, like I said, it would, even though it still has identical, just like a twin, just because it has identical DNA, it can still grow up in a different environment and be a different person.
Right.
And there's nothing that's gonna distinguish that person's consciousness or well-being from whatever it came from.
So I guess what I'm trying to get at is, if you can't tell that it's a clone, then what does it matter? I guess that's the main thing that I'm getting at. Yeah, and it would be the same. We're gonna have an artificial intelligence episode, but it's gonna be a good one. But if you haven't seen Ex Machina, highly recommend that movie. Oh my gosh,
yeah, I know. I've heard about it. And I've
you
heard
talk
it's a
about
great
AI
movie.
enough to watch that
I need
movie.
to see it
But basically, if you can't tell that it's a human or not, or if you can't tell that it's not a human, then what does it matter? So it's the same kind of, my argument would be the same for artificial intelligence.
It's just like having a child.
Yeah.
It's not that, I mean, it's a little different DNA because it's mixed with someone else's, but ultimately it's still half yours at least. I don't know. I don't see it to be that much different. And DNA is just, it may be 80% of who you are. I don't think it's that much. But there's still another part of you that's completely unique to anyone that's ever lived before. So why would you be any different of a person just because of your DNA? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what's actually funny, if we're talking about DNA, we're actually closer to apes than like apes are to monkeys. Like we're actually closer.
When you say apes is a broad.
Yes, yeah.
Chimpanzees?
I can't remember. I think so. Like we're closer to one than one is to the other.
Okay.
Whichever one we're closest to.
Monkeys are far further back in the family tree than, say, chimpanzees or mountain gorillas. I know these things.
I know, but I just wasn't expecting mountain gorillas. Is there really a need to put mountain in front of it?
Silverback.
We're not going to have desert gorillas.
Well, You also have jungle gorillas and flatland gorillas.
I've never heard of either of these.
Oh, well, that's too fucking bad, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never. Yeah, I just thought they were gorillas. Who cares where they are? It's like ocean fish.
Well, I mean, like you said, their environment makes them. You know,
yeah,
it shapes them.
yeah, absolutely.
So being in the mountains would make them different. I guess. You have any questions written down for me? I was going to ask another one.
I have a very weird one. This was
We
an
like
interesting
weird.
point. So it's not really a question. I'll ask if you think it's okay and if you would actually get into it. But so a lot of reason why they make clones is for research purposes. Like if we're working on a medicine and I can give the same thing over and over again, but try it different ways, then that takes a lot of the variability out, right?
Okay.
So it's very helpful to create certain kind of medicines and things like that.
Right.
However, in 2008, apparently the FDA has now declared it okay and safe for us to basically clone animals and sell like their milk and meat and stuff like that.
Wow.
So now we can drink the milk of clones and eat the meat of clones, and a lot of times it's beneficial for people with, like, if you have a perfect cow that's very lean meat, lots of meat, you can clone it and just keep doing it over and over and over again.
I don't think a lot of people would be okay with that.
I don't think a lot of people would know.
They wouldn't.
You know, and then after a while, after you've been eating the shit for 2 years, you're like, okay, well, I like it. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
But it would just be like cloned meat. Come get your cloned meat.
Yeah, I would. I mean, if I eat mostly vegetables now, anyways.
Which is cloned.
Yeah, I mean, but that's a little different than cloning meat, I would think.
Yeah.
Longer gestation period.
Different protein cells and stuff.
Yeah, and whatever. I'm not going to get into all that. But I don't know if you know the answer to this, but does cloning something make it more likely to be sterile? For some reason, I have that in my head, and I know that if you crossbreed, it makes them sterile, like a liger, for example. Ligers are completely sterile.
But that's taken two completely different things and put them together.
I know, but
I don't know. I think there would be just an array of health problems all in general.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
that's
like
my main point.
Yeah, the aging problem is already going to be bad. Like half of them are, like I said, going to die, and most of them I think are just really going to have health problems most of the time. Like I don't think we've gotten to the point where it's beneficial for us. I think, like I said, in like research and stuff like that, maybe, but otherwise.
I just came up with another question for you, another deep-rooted question, just right off the top of my head.
Hit me hard.
All right, so if do you think it is more beneficial, or do you think we are closer to making a functional and useful artificial intelligence, or would it be more useful for us to focus on making super intelligent humans via cloning? Which do you think we're closer to?
So you're saying like gene manipulation?
And which would you
bionic?
put your which would you put your funding towards if you had to pick?
AI.
Would you?
Yeah, because I think we are working on like gene manipulation and stuff like that, so we can make people live longer and people have defective DNA stuff like that. But
what about super intelligence versus like an AI? Because people are concerned that an AI would get out of control, whereas a super intelligent human would still be human. So it might be.
It would still be human, but I mean, but not only superhuman, you could be super strength or
sure.
whatever. So
that's what's to stop them from making superheroes,
right? But anybody with that sort of power is probably going to take advantage of it, whether it's via machine or via manipulation of some sort. People are going to take advantage of it.
Yeah, sure.
So I don't think there's much of a difference. The only reason I say machines is because machines are very process driven. They're less likely to fail or just mess up. If we're manipulating genes, I'm assuming that's a very difficult task.
Oh yeah,
and
I'm sure. Don't know
very
about
easy to mess up and very easy to send someone in the wrong direction, I guess.
Yeah.
But no, I think AI would definitely give you. It's systematic. I don't know. It's going to be the same thing over and over and over again. And really the only reason that's we have our cell phones. That is already instant data. The only hard part about it is the input. Like we have slow input,
right? Because
we have to type it in and search it.
My concern and reason for asking the question is because AI, I feel like, could very, very easily get extremely out of hand. And that's the fear of a lot of scientists today that are concerned about it, is that AI can grow well beyond us and then look at us like we look at ants in a way.
No, and I agree. And I want to save a lot of this because I'm very excited to talk about it for like an hour or so.
Hell yeah.
But no, I totally agree. But if I had a choice to go between someone picking around with my cells and a computer just doing it instantly, because once you program it the one way, it's not going to change itself. It's not going to be different. Like, a human could have a bad day and fuck some shit up.
Well, who knows, man? It might be able to change itself.
Yeah, true. But I wasn't going that far yet.
Yeah, we can get all up in that at some point. We could very easily get away from cloning right now, so let's not. I'm going to bring up some problems with cloning the same individual over and over again. For example, with crops.
Yeah.
So let's get into monoculture and the problems of it. So that's a bunch of clones. Corn is the most common, especially for the U.S. So there's a lot of problems with cloning a lot of the same individual. And case in point number one being that if a blight happens or some sort of disease happens, it's going to take out everything. Yes. Yeah. So that's where I would start to advocate polyculture, and we need to start paying our farmers more if there's a way to do that. I don't understand the economics behind that, but a lot of the reason that vegetables are so expensive is that farmers just don't make enough money otherwise. So vegetables are going to be super expensive if they take like organic vegetables, for example, heirloom vegetables. They're more expensive because they're harder to farm. So if we figure out a way to do polyculture and not necessarily clone as many, or maybe clone a wider variety of vegetables and fruits and plant them in and among each other, a blight wouldn't have as much of an effect on it. It would be harder to farm, but it would behoove us as humans, and that way it makes me think that farmers are in the future at least going to become a lot more important, and they are extremely important. Yeah. They're not given enough credit now.
Right. I think the only problem you're going to run into there is there's already I think there's a big reason why we only eat certain things is because they're like the prettiest vegetables, the prettiest fruits,
and that's the problem.
They taste like there's a ton of different bananas, but how many do you see when you go to the store? One, maybe two.
There's hardly any anymore because we don't breed them anymore, and it's the same thing with corn. It's the same thing with potatoes.
So why would even if it was smarter or better for us to span out and do all these different kinds, I don't think that would actually hold true, because I don't think people would want to do that.
I feel like more and more as we go into the future and realize the benefits of these things, I think that people will. And people are already starting to do that. People buy heirloom vegetables. There's a reason that they're in big grocery stores.
You think McDonald's is going to...
McDonald's is a totally outlier, different story.
Well, not really.
They want everything perfect.
Right, but the majority of vegetables and things are probably consumed through restaurants and stuff like that. Well, and they want everything to look uniform, so they're not going to have a bunch of different...
Well, I know, but this is going to... Well, it has to be perfect, quote unquote, whatever, but there's going to be a point in time where it becomes more important to eat the ugly things that come out, because there's us wasting a lot of food is a humongous problem right now. And that's going to become more and more true into the future. We can't continue to waste like we are. And in that way, people, I feel like, will become more and more accustomed to eating ugly things. And there's already a company that is pushing, I don't even remember exactly what it's called, but it's on their front page that they want ugly vegetables to be eaten, ugly fruits, and they're pushing that as a company, and that's like their whole purpose.
Yeah, I 100% agree, and I wish that was a thing, but I don't have faith in that. I think humans can do a lot of great things, but I don't think that's something they're gonna be to give up. I mean, because I can just see the ignorance. Like, I'm not eating that shit. It's got a little brown spot on it. It's gross. Like, that doesn't mean it's bad for you. Just put it on. It's just the same.
What about the point when that's the only thing they can afford? They can put it in grocery stores and it'd be cheaper, and the more pristine stuff it'll be harder to keep up, harder to do, and it might become more and more expensive.
So
variety is the spice of life, baby.
So you're thinking maybe at sort of like a population crisis where we do have maybe a food crisis. Like, people are just gonna have to take what they can get, and give up this fucking fanatical.
Yeah. In a way, let me give you another example of food waste. So, people don't eat end pieces. So there are a lot of sandwich places that throw away all of the end pieces. Right. So that kind of stuff, I'm at least the humanitarian side of me, and well, maybe not the humanitarian side of me, the
homosexual. I think that's what you were looking for.
Sure, fucker. The ecological minded side of me wants humans to stop wasting food and be okay with something that doesn't necessarily look great but still tastes just as good or better. Because a lot of the heirloom, and for example, heirloom tomatoes, some of them look like tumors and crazy looking. But they taste great. They look beautiful when you cut into them.
I think a lot of it is awareness. I think, I'm going to change my opinion. I think we'll get there. And
I hope we do.
Whether it's based on necessity or just the fact that people are just more aware about things. Because I just look at how much diet has probably changed in America in the last 50 to 100 years. I'm sure it's been pretty dramatic. Not only based on like farmer techniques and cultivation, but just on the way that people are trying different things. We're importing things from all over the place. Like you go into grocery stores and it has like a whole Oriental. I was gonna say Oriental aisle, but
getting racist in here.
I just haven't heard the word Oriental in a long. Do people still say that?
Yeah,
I don't know why that cracked me up.
From the Orient. Oh my God, you are racist.
Yeah, that was funny.
Look at you cracking yourself up over there.
I mean, do people say Asian or Oriental? The Asian aisle?
There's a lot of different things that you could call people of different regions over there, but we don't. That's way off subject. Let's not.
It just cracked me up. But I think you see a lot more of that now. So I think just due to awareness and people trying new things. You know what I thought of kind of a great idea is, how you have these like food companies that will deliver stuff to your house now, and what comes in a bag is exactly what we talked about this. Well, what comes in a bag is exactly what you need for the meal, and it comes with like a fucking picture and exactly how to cook it. Why don't they just do that in grocery stores? Like, I know they do have, like, little pieces of paper around.
Does it.
Right, they have, like, a piece of paper where it says, good this, and this for this meal. But I'm saying, like, walk up, grab a bag, has a picture, like, oh, this looks good. This is, like, some Thai chicken with vegetables and blah, blah, blah. It's already in the bag. You pick it up and go, put it in your buggy. It already has everything in it except for maybe, like, the perishables.
That would require more work on the part of the
grocery store. Yeah, but would people would probably pay for it? I would pay for it just so I don't have to walk around the fucking grocery store for hours. I hate shopping in general.
Now we're getting way off cloning.
Yeah, you're right. But
let's try to dial it back in a little bit.
Making that point, it would be a good idea.
Yeah,
I think so.
I can't disagree with that. Maybe at least a section of it. Yeah.
If we're going back to cloning though, and just kind of GMOs, that'd be a good way of. I mean, who's gonna go through the bag and be like, oh, I don't want that tomato. I don't want that tomato. You know what I mean? Like most people are just gonna grab it and go. It's a way of kind of distributing food evenly among the people.
Yeah.
Rather than people having this really selective process.
True. So. Yeah, and getting back into cloning, we already do have soil problems in the United States, and I'm sure in other countries, because the more you cultivate the land, the less fertile and the less able the soil is to handle a crop or a monoculture.
You have to,
and that's another benefit of polyculture is that it keeps the soil more fertile. There's different types of nutrients being taken and given.
Explain polyculture for other people.
Okay, when I say polyculture, I mean lots of different types of fruits and vegetables in a field living together in harmony. And some vegetables don't work well with others, like vines might grow on and suffocate others. So you have to pick the plot carefully. And even still with polyculture, it basically more mimics a natural environment. So it's in that way it's healthier. And you like I said with monoculture, you have too many issues with having to harvest all the land at once and then completely changing crop rotation. So you have to rotate this certain crop to another field and then leave that field you can burn on it or compost it.
Right, or just let natural processes take
so
over.
With polyculture, you are harvesting one thing and then leaving other things there. You harvest things at different times. So the soil is always has something occupying it.
Right, and it's not the same product being grown over and over and sucking the same nutrients out.
Exactly, and that's going to become another reason for cloning vegetables and making GMOs for the future. Is because as we keep doing that, as the soil keeps getting depleted, we're going to need more and more resistant vegetables, resistant to that, resistant to the different climate that we're going to slowly be exposed to now. So yeah, it's just I don't know, another way to look at things.
Do you think there would be a way that we can like and I'm sure it's being tested, especially on like the International Space Station, all kinds of stuff like that. But there's got to be a way that we're gonna have to get into like either hydroponics or
We already are.
which is water growing
Greenhouses.
Yeah, and ways to grow without soil because eventually we're gonna run out of fertile soil, and we're not gonna be able to grow the same.
Shit is pretty fertile.
Shit is pretty fertile. Yeah.
It's going to take a while to bring it back. I feel like there is going to be some sort of technology developed that helps us make more soil, especially out of compost and animal shit, human shit. Dead vegetables or rotten things.
It has the same kind of vitamins and nutrients.
It's a way to put it back into it, yeah.
So that's more time and money farmers have to spend.
Right. And it's going to take this is why I think the agricultural technology is going to become more and more important, more and more stock driven and that kind of stuff is because of these reasons that we've been talking about. Agricultural technology is going to become a bigger and bigger thing. It already is.
It's not going to be a choice.
Yeah, I mean, I have a cousin that's a farmer, and he talks about the problems with soil. Sometimes, I mean, not all the time. I don't want to say he always talks about it because he doesn't. We've talked about it, and he has confirmed with me that it is a problem already.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So,
because there's only a certain percentage of our land, and I'm just taking the U.S. for instance. There's only a certain amount of that is fertile and able to cultivate the certain kind of things that we grow, and it's being used to feed the, close to 400 million people in the U.S. and being exported to other places.
Yeah.
So, of course, there's got to be a time where it just doesn't make sense to even think that you could just keep getting the same product over and over and over again forever in life and it just be the same thing. It's just not going to happen. There's got to be, like you said, innovative ways to, spread it out, which I think, a lot of companies are kind of doing, especially in like busy cities where they're like growing vegetables and stuff on their roofs of businesses.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Urban greenhouses.
Yeah, which I think is awesome. Because there's gonna be some sort of lack of resources there, or lack of food for the way the population will probably go.
Yeah. So at this point, we are promoting the use and spreading of cloning via GMOs and vegetables and trivializing the cloning of animals and humans and their benefits or cons.
I can't really say that it's necessary to clone human. I mean, because plants already clone themselves. I mean, asexual reproduction pretty much is kind of cloning themselves.
Not all of them are asexual. Actually, a lot of them are not. That's where pollinators come in to play.
Say that again?
Pollinators. Bees.
Got you. So they spread it. Is what you're saying.
A lot. Some do reproduce asexually, but I don't want to say the majority of them. I don't want you to quote me on that. I do think the majority of them produce sexually.
I would think asexually, but I don't.
But that's why pollinators are a thing.
Right. They're very good for.
A lot of plants are hermaphrodites.
Yeah.
So they have both parts. Maybe that counts as asexual reproduction. But anyways, when I think asexual, I mean one individual reproducing itself.
Yeah.
When in this case, it's one individual reproducing, even if it's a hermaphrodite, it might reproduce with another individual as well, because it does have both parts, so they can still reproduce with each other, or maybe they could reproduce with themselves.
But it seems
that's
like
not something I'm a super expert on.
That would seem like it would give you more variability, right?
Yeah.
Like two different things coming together is going to give you a big different thing than that one thing replicating itself over and over again. And so that's why I say asexual would be.
Ergo, the importance of pollinators and bees, and we can get on that topic at some point too. Maybe not just bees, but
so, like single-celled organisms is where I'm going to even further down the line. I mean, most of them are gonna a single-celled organism, if it recreates or replicates itself, it's more than likely going to be identical.
Yeah. Okay.
Or a complete clone of itself.
Okay, that is asexual. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I think that would, but I think it still goes to certain plants and stuff too.
Yeah. I'm not saying there's no plants that.
Right.
But I am saying that there are a lot of plants that use pollinators to have sex.
Oh, yeah,
and the wind to have sex,
Yeah.
So
that's true. You get a good breeze and you're like,
yeah.
I'll spread my seed.
Yeah, all of that yellow stuff that you see on your car and all over your house in the springtime.
In your tube socks.
Sperm.
Yes. All of it.
and in your tube socks. Sperm.
Yeah, if you have any teenagers in your house.
So I think we've covered cloning pretty well.
Yeah, I don't think I have pretty much anything to say. I think, ultimately when it comes down to it, I don't think it's going to be very important in the future. I think it is very helpful, like I said, for research purposes, getting the same, control group over and over and trying something on it over and over until you get the result you're looking for. I think that could be helpful. But overall, like cloning humans, I don't see it being necessary. I mean, we can already.
We don't have a population problem,
Yeah, I mean,
so cloning vegetables is important.
Yeah, and I don't think,
which is why we harped on that and got off subject with that.
Right. I don't think there's been any certain human that's come through that's been that sort of impacted on society that it would, we would feel the need to recreate them. Like even like we were talking about with like Einstein and
Jesus
and Newton, those people with that knowledge are gonna come eventually. Whether it happens at, when Einstein in the early 1900s or somebody came, 50 years later and thought of it, that knowledge is still going to come about, without cloning people to think that they're going to do something special.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's really all I got to say on it.
Yeah. I think we covered it pretty good. If we missed something, y'all feel free to comment on it. Or
tune in. Yeah. So I don't know why I said tune in. I meant chime in. Chime in. Hit us with some questions or even something that that we said that you've never thought about before, and it kind of gave you a train of thought. I'd love to kind of hear about it.
Bring it on. We're here to grow ourselves and to help grow our audience.
Yeah, I would say so. Let me back up. I say I really want to hear that. I may just tell you that that's dumb, and I don't want to hear that. But
it's highly possible coming from this asshole.
Yeah. Yes, I am. Whatever. But I would at least love the participation from whoever likes to chime in. And I don't know if you had anything else, but our next episode, as far as we know, will be on artificial intelligence.
Was that the consensus? I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I think so.
Episode 3, artificial intelligence.
I accidentally already wrote my notes for it, so
yeah,
we're gonna.
I said cloning like 3 times the last time we talked about it, and then he texted me and was like, "Hey, AI."
Yeah, every time you said cloning, in my head I heard artificial intelligence.
This guy has.
I heard exactly what I wanted.
This guy wants sex robots.
Yes,
that's
the only thing I can think about, and if I don't have to hear all the bitching afterwards, might as well. Just kidding.
My shoulder.
Anyhow.
For those of you who don't know, my shoulder's fucked up. I recently had surgery on it. That's why if you saw me try to put my notes on the desk over there, if you're actually watching this, and I looked like
an idiot,
a challenged person.
Oh, wow. You're getting into some dangerous territory. Also, if you notice for Chase, he constantly does this. And that's because of his tics with his shoulder from forever ago.
Oh, yeah. It's problems, baseball injuries.
Anyways, I guess that about sums it up.
Yeah,
for
so we're gonna play a game.
Got something in mind for our game.
Where is it?
I don't know where I put it.
Where?
But it's right beside you, dum dum. A diggity dum dum. Is that what you're talking about? It's under the computer.
Oh shit.
Jesus. You sure you didn't have surgery on your eyeballs?
You're fucking hilarious.
That was pretty good.
That wasn't good.
So for those that
I picked the cards last time.
Probably didn't watch our first episode. Again, we understand it. This is a game we'll play from time to time. It is actually pretty freaking hilarious.
It is.
Debate-based game.
And we like to
one white card each.
1 white card, 2 black cards.
All
the white card is a person or a type of person. And then the black cards are attributes. So we get one white card. That's hard to say. 1 white card, 1 black card, or 2 black cards. And we argue about who would win in a fight.
Yes.
So this is something to help keep our debates or discussions lighthearted.
Yeah, maybe not too factual based.
As if we don't already make jokes throughout everything that we do.
Yes.
We just thought this would be a funny thing. Ooh.
I have the mind of a 7-year-old. So
wait, what does this mean?
That probably means you get to make it up. Just pull another card.
I'm just gonna pull another card. You're right.
So I'll start. Which is weird. I got your card from the first episode, but I have Miley Cyrus that can stretch like rubber.
Wow!
While walking 12 wiener dogs.
Oh my god!
This is like literally her fantasy, I believe.
Jeez. All right, so I get to pick an action movie star, Jason Statham.
Oh.
Oh.
Yikes.
He shoots webs. And he is armed with a puppy musket.
What the hell is a puppy musket?
I'm assuming it's a musket that shoots puppies. I don't think it's a puppy.
And I got 12 puppies.
a puppy gun that shoots actual musket balls. I feel like it's a musket that's shooting puppies.
Oh, what the hell are you going to shoot that would be great.
This is going to be an interesting argument.
First of all,
it would probably kill the puppies as it shot them.
This bitch can stretch like rubber, so she's just going to create like this long, like elastic tablecloth out of her arm fat, and they're just going to they're going to bounce right back to you.
So basically what we have here is Mr. Fantastic versus Spider-Man with a puppy musket.
Yeah, and I got puppies. Yeah, it's weird, but
Jason Statham is a great fighter. He's got great reaction skills. And Miley Cyrus is just a dumb bitch.
Yeah, she. I was gonna say,
Miley, if you're listening, I love you so much. Yeah, I don't love you.
No, couldn't care less.
Nope.
Yeah, so she's gonna be probably cracked out and like trying to shake her ass for whatever reason. I feel like
her lack of ass.
Is she even popular?
I don't know. I feel like Jason Statham would. I don't know. For some reason, I pictured him kicking your puppies.
But how distracted would you get with 12 wiener dogs?
It's not how distracted I would get. It's how distracted Jason Statham.
That he has to be a human at some level. He's not going to kick my puppies.
Oh, you don't know that.
They're gonna surround me, and he's gonna just be playing with them the whole time, and then I'm gonna wrap my rubber vag over his head and suffocate him.
How are you gonna wrap anything around anything when my webs have you completely wrapped up?
I don't have a good one for that. Maybe someone pulls me out like a rubber band.
Someone, just a random person on the street. I'm gonna save this stretchy Miley Cyrus with puppies.
Stretch and pull myself right out of your webs, because I can just.
I don't think that's how that works.
It's how it works.
No, there's. Jason Statham, I get the feeling that he is somebody who likes to follow things through. And as somebody who likes to follow things through, he's not going to leave any space unguarded by web. So,
my dogs are going to chew through his stupid webs. They're not puppies.
Oh, they are dogs. They're wiener dogs. They're wiener dogs. Yeah. Jason Statham would totally kick your wiener dogs. Yeah, fuck wiener dogs.
He'd kick the fuck out
of them.
Fuck them. Yeah, they would just... They're pretty much useless. But I did see a wiener dog this past weekend that was really quick. I was surprised by how agile this was.
I will say wiener dogs are pretty vicious. I hate them so much.
They're annoying. They would just annoy him to death.
Yeah, that's true.
And he would just be like, nah, fuck it.
I feel like Jason Statham would shoot a puppy musket at Miley Cyrus. Her eyes would cut for just this moment and be like, puppy, and then he would wrap you with the web. And that would be it. Game.
I still got 12 puppies.
Game, set, match. You got wiener dogs, and you're walking them. They're attached to you.
Yeah, exactly. So they're going to chew the web off, and I'll be free to go.
I don't know if wiener dogs could chew off a Spider-Man caliber web.
Yeah, I don't.
Spider webs are pretty strong.
You give them
pound for pound, they're stronger than steel.
You give them like 7 days with no food, and I bet they.
I don't think those wiener dogs will be walking with you anymore. They might be just trying to gnaw your legs off.
They can chew through anything at that point. And if you did have 7 days, I'd hope you'd kill me by then.
Yeah, I would hope so. Jason Statham would no longer be my. I don't even know that he's my favorite action movie star. At first, I was going to say Arnold Schwarzenegger because of his intense biceps, but he's old now. So
yeah,
I guess Jason Statham's getting up there too, isn't he?
Not anywhere near Arnold though.
No, he's not.
He's in way better shape than Arnold.
Yeah, he is. Arnold is a governor though. So
yeah, he's a boss.
He did so good for himself. Going off subject here.
Yeah,
proud of that guy. I know people look at him and think he's stupid or whatever, but that man came from Austria. He probably could hardly speak English. Immediately became an action star by pumping iron. I don't know if he did steroids. He probably did.
I'm sure.
And became the governor of California.
Yeah.
Even though Terrell Owens was running against him.
So you're telling me it was a tough match?
Oh, yeah. Such a tough match. I'm just kidding. He probably had the whole of the German population voting for him in California. I don't think that's a big thing. I'm just making things up at this point. I can't
imagine that would be a lot.
Probably not.
No.
All right. So I guess it's at this point.
Yeah, we'll let people vote on this. We'll say. Again, I think I won, but I'm always going to think I win.
Last time you conceded. If y'all watched episode 1, this man completely conceded his victory.
Because it was bullshit. Okay?
Yeah, he lost.
I did lose. but we'll see what the public says.
A stretchy Miley Cyrus with walking 12 wiener dogs, or I should say a Miss Fantastic walking 12 wiener dogs, or Spider-Man with a puppy musket.
You give her too much credit. Call her fantastic. She's not really. That's true. Fantastic.
So even still, I don't know. Yeah, I would be giving Jason Statham too much credit to call him Spider-Man too, wouldn't I? kind of exaggerating.
I mean,
it.
doesn't
He
have
doesn't
like spidey senses
or reflexes.
Or
Spider-Man would
but still
kick
pretty
Jason
good.
Statham's ass.
But still, he's a trained artist, martial artist. So I feel like he would still be pretty capable of destroying everything I have. So I'll give you that one.
All right, so we'll leave this one up to you guys. Vote if you've listened this far. If you haven't, then fuck off or something.
Don't vote.
Whatever. Yeah. But maybe at this point, can we end? Is this it?
I think so. I think we did a good job of explaining, just cloning, talking about it. Like I said, it's something we never talked about before.
No,
so
I think we did a good job for talking about something new for us both. As many conversations as we had. So thank you guys for listening. If you've listened this far, we really appreciate it. We'll be coming out with episode 3 AI in roughly a week.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah.
It'll the way it gets posted, it'll be out within a week of the previous episode. So episode 2, cloning.
Attack of the Clones.
Cause
and Defect.
Good night.
We're going to talk at the same time every time?
Yes. We always do that.
Cause and Defect.
Cause and Defect.